In this video, I want to introduce the quotient rule, which is taking the derivative of a function which is dividing two different functions. So let's say we have f of x is equal to g of x over h of x. And again, once we do an example, this will become much less ambiguous, but let's do it with this first. So if we want to take the derivative of f of x, which is f prime of x, this is equal to g prime of x times h of x minus h prime of x times g of x all over h of x quantity squared. So this is it's sort of a long formula, but it's pretty symmetric. So once you use it a couple times, it's actually not too bad to memorize. So let's do an example. Let's say we have f of x is equal to sine of x over x squared. And we want to take the derivative, f prime of x. Well, we can use our formula. Let's call sine of x g of x, and we'll call x squared h of x. So in this case, g prime of x times h of x, well, g prime of x is cosine of x. H of x is just x squared, minus h prime of x, which is 2x, times g of x, which is sine of x. Again, if I'm going a bit too fast here, you're more than welcome to pause. What I did was g prime of x is just derivative of sine of x, which was cosine of x. H of x was just x squared. H prime of x was the derivative of x squared, which was 2x. And then g of x was just sine of x. And then all over, well, h of x squared. And that's just x squared squared. And we can do a little bit of simplification here. I'm gonna write it up there. So f prime of x becomes x squared cosine of x minus 2x sine of x all over, well, x squared quantity squared, that's just x to the fourth. So, and then maybe we can cancel an x on top and bottom since they all share an x, so we might as well do that. So f prime of x is equal to x cosine of x minus 2 sine of x all over x to the third. And what I did in the last step is just I divided everything by x essentially. And so f prime of x is equal to x cosine of x minus 2 sine of x over x to the third.